What's up guys, it's Jack Slavic with my fourth YouTube video, and today I'm going to be going through a rough guide of what you need to do if you want to transform your physique. I managed to take my physique from this 58 kilo skinny little mess to this more respectable 80 kilo physique in just over 2.5 years. So I'm going to basically condense everything I've learned into a short, I'm going to try and keep it around 10 minutes, try and keep it below 10 minutes, into a short guide of what you need to be doing in terms of your diet, training and recovery if you want to make this transformation for yourself. I guarantee you, if you follow this short guide, you will make gains. It's the very basic principles of training and diet and recovery. However, they are standard, they should work for everyone. If you follow this guide properly, put the work in, you will make gains and you will see results. I hope this video is useful. If it is useful, drop a sub, that'll be greatly appreciated. Like the video, share the video. It's only my fourth YouTube video I think this is, so I'm going to try and make more regular YouTube videos now that I've got more time on my hands to try and help you to change your physique, change your lives. The gym's changed my life. Following these principles will get you results, I guarantee you. The first item on the agenda is your diet. This is definitely the most important thing you need to get right. This will allow you to make the gains. If your diet isn't correct, you will struggle. For the first few months you'll be all right, but after that you will struggle to make gains. You won't see the results you deserve, and you will be able to build more muscle with a good diet. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're in a calorie surplus. So to do this, what you're going to do is, I've attached a calorie calculator into the description. Go on there, calculate your maintenance calories. It will ask for your weight, height, activity level and a few other metrics, and then it will give you your maintenance calories. So these are basically the calories you need if you want to stay the same weight. So say it says my maintenance calories are 2,000 calories. I'm going to want to add 200 or 300 calories if I want to put on weight. So say you want to bulk up, say you're really skinny, you're going to want to eat 2,300 calories in order to put on weight. It is a bit variable. It's not the most accurate metric to use. However, it is a good starting point if you have no idea what your maintenance calories are. If after say 2 weeks of training or 2 or 3 weeks of training you haven't put on any weight at all, weighing yourself in the morning, then you can increase it by another 200 calories as long as your training, everything else is going well, because otherwise it could be your training or recovery that is letting you down, stopping you put on weight. But you should be putting on weight. If you are already fat or you have a lot of fat already, then you can eat at your maintenance calories. So say it gives you a value of 2,000, you can eat at 2,000, and you will especially if you've just started training, you can sort of recompose your body. You're not going to change fat into muscle, but you can sort of burn fat and build muscle because you're so new to training, and because your body has no experience of training, you will put on muscle really easily and burn fat at the same time. I would probably say don't go in a calorie deficit if you have a little bit of fat, because you will lose the fat as you build muscle. But if you're in a calorie deficit, you will probably struggle to gain muscle. So just be careful with that. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're eating 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh. This is probably the second most important thing, because protein is what is going to go into your muscles to make them bigger and help them recover. If you're not eating 1 gram per pound you weigh, you may struggle to build muscle. So just make sure you're doing that. Make sure your diet's good and you should be good to go. They're the basics. And one more thing, try and keep your fat low. Don't eat loads and loads of fat, but at the same time you do need some. Try and keep the majority of the rest of your calories from carbs, because this will fuel your session, help keep you energized, stop you getting tired, and so many benefits. It will help keep you motivated, you'll feel good. And if you eat loads of fat, you'll start to feel a bit sluggish and your sessions may start lacking and you may feel slow and things like that. So just bear that in mind as well. That's basically the fundamentals of the diet. So as long as you're doing that, you should be good to go. If you want another video more in depth of diet, because there's so much more, drop a comment in the description and I'll make one. But for that, they're the fundamentals, they're the basics. If you follow that, you should be good to go. The next thing after diet, which is probably the second most important thing, is your training. If you're not training, you're obviously just going to put on fat with the calorie surplus you're in, because you will be eating more than you're burning. That's just a natural process. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you're training, weight training, obviously. You're going to want to go, if you've never been before, I'd recommend going about 3 times a week, and you can do full body workouts 3 times a week. So maybe go Monday, Wednesday and Saturday if you want to, or whatever days work for you. You can start off going 3 days a week. Do upper body and legs each day. Or even if you want to go 4 times a week, you could maybe do an upper and lower split. So you do upper body on 2 of the days and legs on 2 of the days as well. once you've gone for a few weeks or a couple of months, you could probably go up to 6 days a week. I made the not mistake, I don't regret it, but I went 6 days a week from the start, and you do just get unbelievably sore. Like, I was so obsessed with gaining muscle, I was just training. I was still aching so badly from the session before, but like a day later, I'd be hitting the same thing again. It does really hurt. You may injure yourself. I don't recommend it, but give yourself at least a few weeks of going 3 or 4 times a week, then maybe go to 5 days a week, and then maybe 6 days a week if you're up for it and if you're feeling good. But as long as, if you're at some point and you've trained for a little while, then you could go 6 days a week. Just make sure you're not overtraining. If you're tired all the time, you're struggling to do anything else, or your sessions are lacking, you're not putting on weight, you're losing weight, or you're struggling to stay motivated, then it may be you're overtraining, so reduce that a little bit. If you're going 6 days a week, then the other thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're not training the same muscles more than twice a week. As soon as you start training muscles for more than twice a week, they're probably not going to be recovered in between your sessions, and you probably won't be able to. You'll be all right once you're getting started, but as you progress and you get stronger, it will become exponentially hard to put on muscle, especially if you're not recovering between your sessions. So what you're going to want to do if you're going, so we've talked about 3 days a week, 4 days a week, you can probably do an upper and lower split. If you're going 5 or 6 times a week, you're probably going to want to do maybe a 3-day split. So you're maybe going to want to do push one day, which will be chest, shoulders and triceps. Then you're going to want to do pull on the next day, or you maybe want to do legs. So I'd advise you do push, legs, pull, because then your upper body will get a rest in between. So if you're doing push, then you're going to want to do chest, shoulders and triceps on day 1. Day 2, you're going to want to do legs, and day 3, you're going to want to do pull, which will be back and biceps. If you're going 6 days a week, then you just repeat that. If you want to go 5 days a week or 5 and 6 days a week, then you can have a rest day between. So you can do, for example, push on Monday, legs on Tuesday, pull on Wednesday, rest, and then repeat the cycle and just carry on like that. So you can sort of do 3 days on, 1 day off. That might be a bit awkward. Say you've got a schedule and you want to go on the same days each week. Doing that won't allow you to do that. However, you can sort of adapt it around your schedule. You can adapt your training. There's so many splits you can do. You can look them up. There's like multiple splits you can do which will suit your needs differently. That's it for training. There's so much you can say about training, but that's roughly just the frequency you're going to want to do. I can make another video on training or specific splits if you want me to. I've got a training plan on my website as well. I've got a 6-day ultimate bodybuilding program, and then I've got a beginner one as well. So I've sort of got something for wherever you are on the scale of training, of how long you've been going. But other than that, that's the basics of training frequency. The final thing you're going to want to make sure you're doing between your sessions is getting enough rest and recovering correctly. This sort of wraps up with the diet a little bit, because you have to be eating correctly if you want to recover properly. For example, that's where the protein comes in. You have to be eating enough protein to recover and rebuild yourself, because basically when you're working out, you're destroying your muscles, you're destroying your body, and you have to rebuild it. And that's how you build muscle. You rebuild stronger, bigger, and that's how you slowly get bigger. If you're not recovering properly, you won't be able to grow. You won't be able to put on muscle, you won't be able to put on weight, and you'll have a hard time. There's only a few things you have to do, but they are essential if you want to be making gains, especially if you want to be optimizing the gains you're making. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. You don't want to be getting less than this, because for obvious reasons you're going to be tired, you're not going to have rested properly, your muscles aren't going to have had time to relax. But you don't want to also be sleeping way over this, because you will just end up feeling tired all day. Your sessions might be lacking a bit. You can go a bit over 10 hours, but I wouldn't advise sleeping like 12-hour days, because I've done it myself and you will just end up being tired. You'll struggle to eat enough, especially if you're already struggling to eat the calories you have to. That's the other thing. A lot of the calories you're going to have to eat, it might seem like a lot of food compared to what you're used to. A lot of people don't actually appreciate the amount of food you have to eat. So for example, I've asked people how much do you eat, they say 3,000 calories. In reality, they're eating nowhere near 3,000 calories. So you might be eating way more food than like you were before. So getting up early, giving yourself the full day to eat it, to spread out your meals, is going to get you the best results. It's going to be really difficult if you're sleeping 12 hours a day. Then I don't particularly like eating as soon as I wake up. So say you don't eat for a couple of hours, then you're going to be halfway through the day, you're still not going to have eaten, and you're going to have a lot to eat. And cramming your calories all in one go is not a good idea. It's not beneficial. And it's just not the right way to go about things. So 8 to 10 hours of sleep will give you enough time to eat your meals for the day, give you enough time to train. You'll feel good, you'll be refreshed, but you don't want to be tired, because then you're not going to want to eat, you're not going to want to train, and it's just all going to go out the window very quickly. The key with all this is you have to make it all sustainable. You don't want to do it for a week. You're not going to get gains in a week. You might get gains in a month, but barely noticeable. It does take a long time, and you have to stick to it for a long time. So you're going to want to make it the most convenient and sustainable way of doing it. Otherwise, you will just give up, and that's no good for anyone. The next thing you want to do is make sure you're staying hydrated. So I generally try and drink about 4 litres of water a day, but there's a couple of things with that. If you're on creatine, which I do advise you just take 5 grams a day every day to help with recovery, it's the most researched supplement. Don't worry about taking it. Just take 5 grams a day every day and you should be good. Just make sure you are drinking enough, because it does basically, it sucks water into your muscles, so you do get dehydrated more easily. So just make sure you're drinking throughout the day. I'd say I drink 4 litres a day, which is it's a good amount. Just try and drink as much as you can, and you'll feel much better in the gym. You'll recover quicker, and it's just better for you. So that's hydration. Eating, obviously you want to be eating your calories, and then the other thing you can do is either have a protein shake or source of protein, say even if you want chicken, rice, or whatever, something with chicken, fish, anything after your workout, just to get started the recovery process, which is what I like to do. Just to make the most out of your session, just have a protein shake after the gym, or go and eat some chicken and rice, eat a source of protein after your workout, just to get the most from it and kickstart the recovery process. The final thing I'm going to say is, in terms of back to the diet here, is you don't want to just be drinking shakes all day. So say you have to eat 150 grams of protein, shakes are a supplement. You shouldn't be having 5 shakes a day to make up your protein. Maybe have 1 or 2 at most, but the rest should come from food, and it is far better for you to get in food. You get all the nutrients. There's just so many benefits of eating food over shakes. Obviously, it is better to get your calories and protein from it's more important to get them anyhow, but it's definitely better if you get them from food and not just from shakes. You don't want to just be downing 2,000 calorie shakes and be like, yeah, I've had 2,000 calories, that's my food for the day done, because it's no way going to be as beneficial for you. But they are there to help you, so use them if you're struggling to get your protein or your calories in for the day. So that's it, guys. That's the end of the video. That's just a rough guide as to what I've done, what you should be doing if you want to be making the most out of your time in the gym. If you want to be making the most gains you possibly can as quickly as you can, this is what you need to be doing. This is what's required. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If it's been useful, if you've got anything from the video, please like and subscribe. It will help me massively. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. If you want any new videos, drop them in the comments. Be sure to follow my Instagram, which is here, and I will link it in the description. I'll be putting daily tips and motivation on there to keep you guys motivated, keep you working hard, so we can all get absolutely massive. As always, stay strong and get huge.